Welcome to podcast number 30. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Melissa.
And we're from Espace Tricot, a knit shop in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And we're here on a Wednesday night trying something different.
Time, yes, trying to record at night. We've got all our lights set up, so hopefully it's going to work. We have a lot of lights set up, you guys, so it should be okay.
We feel like we're in a bit of an interrogation room. But and I just want to give a little thank you to Catherine. She really made this happen because we didn't want to film too late in the evening, so we asked her if she wouldn't mind setting everything up for us
when the store closed, and she did, yeah. So we just came in this evening and everything was pretty much ready to go.
I know. What service. So thank you, Catherine.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. So we had a great visit this weekend.
Yeah.
From Amanda
I guess we'll just talk about what's up, right?
So
Amanda and Fiona were in town. They were here for 4 or 5 days, a little bit of a holiday, and
they're from Knit Social. So just wanted to let you know that
they're from Knit Social. They run the Knit City Vancouver show, which is kind of like. Is that kind of like a Canadian answer to Vogue Knitting Live?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's, it's this great weekend in October that happens. I think it's actually 4 days. It's vendors, it's classes, and social activities right around it as well. And we've I think it's in its 8th year, 9th year.
That I don't know.
Yeah, I think it might be in its 8th year, and we've never gotten it together to go. We're always sort of going to things on this end or across the pond. So we're like, this is Canadian.
We were going to go last year, but then we got it was too late. So we decided this year we're going to go for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, so Amanda and Fiona were here this weekend, and we hadn't had a chance to meet them, of course, because we've never been. So we had lunch with them, which was really nice.
And we have to thank Julie Asselin. Julie Asselin is like connected with everybody, and she's so sweet. And she sent us a message on Friday to say, "Oh, the girls from Knit Social are here. They're in Montreal. They'd love to meet with you." We're like, fantastic. So we organized it on Sunday. So thanks to Julie for helping us connect with them. And so they had a nice visit in the store. We went for lunch.
Yeah, we had a great chat. It was great getting to know them. I felt like we knew them, actually.
Yeah, it was really fun. It's
very
so
familiar and easy. And
they were kind of a lot like us. Like they met when they were young mothers. They lived in the same co-op.
Yeah, and they started this business together.
I know. It was kind of like our story. So it's funny because as we were telling our story, they were like, oh my God, that's like our story, Yeah,
lots of overlap. So it was great. Anyway, we are firmly committed to going. Yeah. You guys, it's October 5th to the 8th. They have an incredible lineup
of... 6th.
Oh, 5th and 6th. But I think there's 4 days of 3rd to the 7th workshops and events.
Oh, that's
so I think if you
the marketplace.
Yeah, the marketplace might be 5th and 6th, I guess. And then if you take into account all of the activities around it and the classes and that, it's the 3rd to the 7th. So I know that registration for classes opens on June 15th.
Yeah, so if you're interested, it sells out really quickly, like all festivals. So go and sign up for that. And also they do like a trivia night, and there's some little events around. So it sounds like a
little bit of Edinburgh Yarn Festival that way.
So we're really looking forward. And their tagline is a modern fiber event. Oh. I like that. Very cool.
Kind of like we're at Modern Knittery.
Yes.
That's our tagline, too.
Lots of nice connections. So, I mean, it's pretty busy. You've got Twist this summer, and then we have Rhinebeck. Oh, this Knit City is before.
Knit City is, beginning of October, and then Rhinebeck is a few weeks after that, right?
And then you have VKL in New York.
In January.
And then there's Shetland Wool Week that we've been trying to get to. So it's in September. I don't know. I think it might be too early for us this year. Yeah. But that's on our radar as well. So lots of fun things to visit.
There's always a festival to go to.
Yeah. So just wanted to let you know that that's happening.
Yeah. So over there.
So, and then the other thing is we want to do a 15,000 subscriber giveaway for YouTube. So we're almost there. We're 500 people away. So we're just under 14.
We're just in the process of collecting
nice giveaways,
nice things to include in a package. So
so we're hopefully
by the next podcast or so.
Yeah, we can.
And by the next podcast, hopefully we'll be close enough
that we can, anticipate
that we can run it.
Because we're not like this like.
So on the next podcast, maybe what we'll do is we will show what the prize.
Oh yeah, so maybe that'll be more encouraging because people actually do win.
They do
real
win.
People win.
Exactly. And I guess should we just do like one big giveaway prize, or should we have multiple?
I like multiple because it's like I find you have more of a chance of winning.
I
agree. You spread the love.
I
so
agree.
Let's do a few.
Okay.
So we'll do a few. Yeah, because it's so funny because a little bit embarrassing, but I we've destashed like how many times, like at Christmas we destashed. So there's a bin in the back and there's a big sign that says Lisa's stash, and the staff is like laughing their head off. I said, okay, but it's not really my stash. It's stuff we bought when we were at festivals. And then and then we're going to do them as giveaways.
Yeah, exactly.
So we bought some
stuff. And that's
stuff.
what we do a lot actually at festivals is buy things that we know we're not going to be able to sell, and we know that they're, highly coveted things, and so if we bring them back, they will make great giveaway gifts, because not everyone can get to these great festivals.
And when we were at Portland at our retreat, we got some yarn that was like really special from a very small troop of sheep from an island in Maine. Yeah. And then when we were in Harrisville, we got some special yarn too. So we have lots of nice yarn that we've collected over the past couple of months in anticipation. Yes. All right. Okay, so let's move into what we're wearing for our nice summer.
You can go first.
Okay, so I'm wearing two things. So I'm kind of like I'm really into what's it called? Like when you redo things, like you salvage, reuse,
recycle,
reuse, yes, repurpose. There we go. Not repurpose, because it's the same purpose. Reuse. This is from last season, so this is.
Oh, I see. You mean okay?
What do I mean? I mean,
she's trying to pass it off as a new knit.
Exactly. Like how refreshing that I can be so okay with myself that I could just not always wear something new.
Well, I actually think it's great. It shows
we're real people.
Yes, but also that we don't just like knit things as a one-off. We knit them to wear them. We knit them to use them. So
in any case, so I am wearing the Simplicity. It's hard to see the Simplicity cardigan by Maryanarella. I've showed this before. It's done in Shibui twig, so it's really like just an easy cardigan. It's open. It's not meant to close, so it's fitted, I guess you would say, and it just hangs with the, like I showed, these little curlies that go down. So super easy to wear. I did it in Shibui twig, and I just wanted to show. I really like this yarn. It has that structure that I like. It's linen, recycled wool, recycled silk, and wool. But it's predominantly linen and silk. There's just a little bit of wool.
So nice. So it's just a perfect.
It's a perfect summer sweater.
Yeah, but it's sort of like, it sort of bridges a couple of seasons, that one, I find.
It definitely does. I mean, it's like an indoor sweater in the winter. In the summer, it's like in the evening. In the spring, it's during the day. It can be anything.
And because of those, that combination of linen and wool and silk,
it's really lovely.
Yeah, it just sort of, it has that crispness of linen, and it's not going to make you really hot, but that wool just adds a little bit of the warmth.
And it gives a little, bit of elasticity also when you're knitting, so that it's a little more forgiving.
So if you don't like those,
that look of the crisp
pure
linen.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm wearing. And then the other thing I'm wearing is, I made this quite a while ago, actually. It's a pattern. It's a little shawl in Knitty, and from Knitty, and it's by Anna Sudo, I believe is her name. I just closed the. So
is it not on our notes?
No, because I had added it later on.
Okay.
So yes,
it's called the
Anna Sudo Apis dorsata. Yeah. So maybe I can take this off. This was really a fun knit. This was sort of when I was kind of at the beginning of my knitting, and so it was really a nice challenge to try something different. And I did a tubular bind off, cast on and bind off, but it's hilarious because look how many stitches there are. It was like my first time doing tubular bind off and cast off.
So fancy back then.
Yeah, with like 14 stitches or something. So
it's so nice, though.
It's really nice. So I did this with Madeline Tosh Pashmina. In her pattern, she actually has two sizes. One is done with a fingering, and the other one is done with a worsted. I did it with the sport. And I did the small size, but I did it in the sport weight because I just wanted a little kind of indoor shawl. Yeah. And it's really funny because I was telling Melissa I was wearing this last weekend outdoors, and a bee came right at me and hit me right in the chest. So,
I wonder, are bees attracted to the yellow?
The yellow, the pattern, they thought it was their hive. I don't know. But it's such a pretty, it's very clever. Like, I just love, I mean, I've noticed now there are patterns with this honeycomb. Like Andrea Mowry has her sweater,
even Stephanie's new pattern.
That's true. But this, I mean, I knit this like 6 years ago.
I know.
So I knit it, so this wasn't like a popular stitch pattern, but now it is. So
now it is. I had an idea for a baby blanket to do baby blanket with this, and I just petered out. Exactly.
And I tried to design a shawl with this, and then I'm like, I got confused with all the honeycomb sections.
Okay.
So so I suggest you look at it. It's Apis dorsata by Anna Sudo, and it's from Knitty. actually. So that's what I'm wearing. And I think I said that's Maryanarella.
Yeah.
Is the designer. And I've done a few of her simplicities in different yarns. It's really a sweet pattern.
Okay, so I am knitting my 4-day sweater, you guys.
4-day sweater.
Yes, this is the ranunculus. This is my third ranunculus, actually. And this is knit with...
Kestrel?
The Quince & Company Kestrel, which is a chunky weight linen yarn. And, you know, the pattern is a 14-stitch gauge. So I knit it with a 7mm needle. You guys, it seriously took no time. It may, partly because it is my third time knitting the pattern, so there was nothing I had to look up. There are a couple of interesting stitches up here that make the pattern really fun to knit. But, you know, I think the first time through, I might have had to look up one or two. And this, you know, it's my third time, so I just zipped through it. But it's a pattern by Knit Cafe Midori or Midori Hirose, and the original version of the pattern, I think, only came out in one size, and because I knit it quite a long time ago when it first came out, that's the only version of the pattern that I have printed. I have a feeling that the new pattern actually, includes multiple sizes. So this is the original, and I do not know what size it corresponds to. A couple of people have asked me what size I knit. All I know is I cast on 60 stitches for the neck. So whatever that is for the size. Does it have multiple sizes?
Yeah, oversized. She has 32, 36 bust, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46. Excellent. And her gauge is 14 stitches.
Yeah, and I used a 7mm and it worked out perfectly. I actually didn't even measure until I was done. And I was like, phew.
Oh, phew, it fits.
Yeah.
Because Melissa likes to knit the whole thing and then restart it if it doesn't work out rather than doing a swatch.
I've done that a few times.
But, you know, it's nice. Like, there are not many chunky summer yarns, so that's what's nice about the Kestrels. It's a nice chunky summer yarn.
Yeah, so, and this one, you know, I departed from the pattern a little in the sense that I think there are different instructions for the sleeves. She gives you options for short and long. And I didn't follow either of them, actually, because she does something strange with a diagonal on the cuff that it's my third time knitting it, and I still didn't really quite understand what was going on there. I just knit straight for the body and the sleeves, and I have the exact number of inches that I knit before doing the ribbing on my Instagram post, but I'll also include it on the Ravelry project page. So fun knit, super fast. If you need a summer sweater, you can have one in a week.
4 days, and you don't have to do the complicated diagonal thing.
And I
See, if you don't understand it, just
just ignore the stuff.
Ignore the stuff. And it'll all work out.
I mean, it depends on what's important to you. If you really love the shape of the sleeves, I just know a particular kind of sleeve looks best on me, and so I tend to do that in whatever I knit for myself. So, yeah. So that was it.
So that's what you're wearing?
That's what I'm wearing.
Okay, so we moving on. We only have one finished object between the two. Well, this is a finished object.
Yeah.
And what you're wearing.
And that's it. That's
it.
all I have, Lise.
I don't even have a finished object. I'm borrowing my son's finished object. So as many of you might know, Gianluca had his school fair and the kids were making things and they made slippers. And so here are the slippers that my son made and that I bought, and I have to say I've been wearing them.
Have you?
I have been wearing them, and
what about your glare ups?
Oh yeah, well, because it's a bit hot for them now because of transitional season. Yeah. So I mean, it's like, look how cute they are. And I did write the designer of this pattern.
Isn't it Ysolda?
No.
Oh, on the notes it says Ysolda.
I have Ysolda. It is not. I don't think it's Ysolda. Oh my goodness.
I was a little surprised.
Yeah, no, because I did copy paste. Oh my goodness. Garters.
Is this not Temple of Knit? Because those were the ones I had done.
No, these are different ones. Simple garters. Hanna Levaniemi. Does that make sense? Cloudy Days Design by
really
Hanna
cute.
Levaniemi. I have to say, they are so easy to make. If you're teaching someone to knit, if you want, some people my esthetician was saying she wanted a bunch of slippers for her office.
Yeah.
You could totally knit these. And there are a little bit slippy, so you can sew if you wanted those, what's it called? Those pads we got for our chalet collection slippers?
Yep, the
leather soles. So you could definitely sew those on if you wanted. It is such a fun knit. It's easy. It is great for not just kids, anybody who's learning to knit and you don't want to knit a scarf, knit the slippers. So I think I've mentioned this before. You just knit up, you decrease, and then one of the mods I did was it calls for 3 needle bind off, but I just did like pulled through the stitches, like on a hat, because I like the rounded toe. So here
and
you have like
that's easier anyway,
and
especially
it's easier.
knitting with kids.
Yeah, because I found the 3 needle bind off. It was kind of funny. It had a line.
Don't you get like a
it wasn't as nice. And then for this, like really, I don't know how to crochet. I just know how to crochet baskets and a single chain. So she gives you the instructions, but I just did a single chain. They did a single chain here. They started here, they go around here,
join and in,
and then we just shove the end in the in the tip. So I have to say, super fun, super great. Instead of knitting a scarf, knit these, and they're cozy, and it's done with any worsted weight yarn. So you can use a superwash yarn or non-superwash yarn. So I used Cascade, the superwash merino that we have. So you can use that. You can use a speckled yarn. You can use an Aran, Artful Aran, Madeline
Tosh worsted. This is a superwash merino?
Yeah.
Oh.
So you can
feels
yeah, it's nice and squishy and cozy.
Really nice.
Yeah. So we're also going to be getting Rowan Pure Wool worsted, so you can do that. So any worsted weight yarn, go for it. So I really highly recommend this pattern. Very nice. So courtesy of
nice. It was nice to buy the ones.
It was, did, right? And I washed them all. So all the kids made their slippers. Some of them made hats. Some of them made pouches. And I washed everything. And then I assembled them. And every kid wanted to make sure that their name was on the right one. So I had to like do that. And I laughed because
you wouldn't want to get some slippers knit by some other kid.
God forbid. And it's funny because 2 moms sent me pictures of their feet in the slippers that they bought. Cute. And as I like to joke, Melissa and I donated the yarn. I taught the kids how to knit and do the pattern. I washed everything and then I bought them.
Those are super expensive slippers.
Exactly. So anyway, so that's our one little finished object. That's
it.
But we are working on a bunch of stuff.
We're working on a few things. I am knitting on a few things that are kind of secret.
Incognito.
Yeah, we're developing these yarn lines with Annie Parran, and while we have the Grace one will be soon relaunched. That was not grammatically correct.
Will be relaunched
soon. And I have a sweater that I'm knitting up with that one. I'm also working on our BFL, we've sourced a new BFL. Non-superwash BFL,
which is what we wanted.
So nice. And I'm sort of developing a little bit of a collection, a winter accessory collection with that one. So I think that until we have that yarn sort of closer to launch, we are going to keep it
under wraps. But it's kind of like what we see with design. Melissa and I think like, okay, we have an idea, it's got to come out right away. Yeah. And then talking more to designers, we realize they actually plan these things. Yeah. They develop it, so they
manage to keep things secret. Yeah. I'm terrible at that.
Because when we don't, then we feel that pressure.
Maybe. I'm just excited to show progress on things,
I know that I feel, on the other hand, pressure. Then I'm like, okay, now I showed it. Now I've got pressure to do it. So different personalities.
Well, maybe that's good though. Maybe we need pressure to finish.
Yeah.
This.
Oh my God, no pressure. No more pressure with knitting. So we have a bunch of stuff we're working on.
Yeah. So what are you working on?
And I also just wanted to mention what we're working on with Annie. Like it was kind of ready, and then we had. I'm like, oh, that's this Melissa and I. Oh, yeah, it's perfect. And we're like, oh, this one's not quite right, or there's color. This, or can we add this?
We need to add 2 or 3 more colors in that family.
So we stopped saying to Annie
what was
that
really
it's
funny
final.
Was that we wanted 12 to 14 colors, and now we're up to, I think, 30.
Oh, really?
So we really have to...
Yeah, we have to stop. So that's why it's taking... But you know what? We said it's better to take our time and do it well than to rush through it, right?
There you go.
That's what we're doing. So you talk...
Annie's very busy anyway because she has... actually, we should mention that Juliette Lynn's Knitting in the Field event is coming up this weekend.
We forgot about that. That's great.
Yeah, so that's coming up this weekend.
It's on Saturday or Sunday?
So many great people are going to be
I know.
There,
we're missing out on the party.
I'm going to go, actually.
Good for you.
Yeah, I know you're busy.
Yes,
but, I'm going to head up with Tanya. And we've got Tanis Fiber Arts is going to be vending there. Annie's going to be vending there. Naomi's going to be vending there.
Jezebel. Is Tiffany going to be there from Twill and Print? She must be
Tiffany, I believe. I'm not sure, actually. I think so. Wing and a Prayer Farm is going to be there. So it's just, it seems to be growing and growing every year.
We went twice. We went 2 years in a row when it was quite small. There were maybe
the very
7.
First year.
The first and second year.
Yeah, we were vendors the very, very, very first one.
Yeah, and then the second year we went to.
And I wasn't here the second year.
I did it with Françoise because you were away, and then you were still away, and I'm like, Françoise and I were like, no, we're not doing it. We love going to events. Yeah. But for us to haul our stuff,
an event is
I don't know. I'm just getting too old for that. I feel like even though, I shouldn't say that because other women our age are doing the same thing. But I don't know. It's just not our thing.
You gotta choose where you
put your energy, right?
Exactly.
So, but if this podcast gets out before, maybe you can check out the event. It's still called Knitting in the Field?
Yeah, and it's on Saturday. So this may only go up on Saturday. So maybe I'll get it up on Friday if I'm really. This is Wednesday night, by the way. And
but you know what?
I never get them out.
But I'm sure everybody who lives in Montreal or Quebec already knows about it.
I'm sure.
So hopefully you'll be there.
Yeah.
So, so what are you working on, Madame?
Well, I'm just working on, I think, the same thing I was working on in the last podcast. But I wasn't sure. Yeah, I'm not sure where it was the last time I showed it. But
you were missing a sleeve.
Was I missing a sleeve last time too, or had I just done the yoke?
No, you had done more, I think. Because I think you showed this twisted rib. Oh, je m'en souviens plus. It's all a big blur.
I do the twisted rib on everything, that's why. Okay, so this is just a very, very, very simple. I think I had just sort of gotten maybe past I was around here because I remember showing the other colors that were going to be added. So this is with our gray space, you guys, and this is such an exquisite blend of merino, cashmere, and silk. It's a single ply, so it's very similar to the Julie Asselin Fino.
Except this is single ply and Fino is ply.
Exactly.
But the composition is the same. And anyway, it's a very, very simple top-down sweater, twisted rib everywhere, neck and hem and sleeve. My I don't know if these are going to be my signature sleeves. I do straight sleeves. I know everybody loves, or I shouldn't say everybody loves. I know lots of people like it when your sleeve gets narrower and hugs your wrist. I prefer to have a drapier sleeve, and so that's what I tend to do on my patterns, but I'm wondering if I should include a couple of options for sleeves in my patterns. Well, people seem to like it the way it is. So know what I noticed?
It's the same sleeve that I put on the Missoni Accomplished sweater.
But there's so many people who just modify the sleeves because they kind of know. A lot of sweater knitters
actually, you know what?
know.
I feel like sweater knitters know.
They know what to do.
Their sleeves.
Yeah.
And they'll
well, they know everything. Sleeve. They know their body. They know. It's like every time I look at a sweater, I'm like, I love that sweater on that person. They're like, oh, well, I changed the yoke and I did this and I did this and I changed
the rate of decrease and etc.
Sweater knitters seem to know that. And
if you don't, but there are a lot of, because this is a very basic sweater, and so it might attract some beginner knitters. So maybe it might be an idea to include an option for a more fitted sleeve.
You're giving more work to yourself.
That's all right. It's
you go for it.
It's kind. Anyway, so this is obviously very nearly finished. I'm on Sleeve Island. I was at this exact same place.
Instead of knitting the sleeve, she decided to knit a whole sweater instead.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I cast
knit
on
the whole
sleeve. I couldn't knit.
You couldn't knit 2 sleeves.
I couldn't knit
it's
2
all
sleeves.
In the brain.
It was more that I was like, I'll just, before I do the sleeve, I'll just cast this on and get it started. But this one was going so fast. I was like, I can actually finish this in like a couple days.
There you go.
Then I was just
you're
motivated.
You're in the groove.
Anyway, this sweater was going to be called Grace because it was done with our Grace yarn. And our dear friend Denise, Byron Handmade, has just released her first pattern in Leila magazine. Not her first pattern, but her first pattern to appear in Leila magazine. It's coming out at the end of this month, and it is called Grace. So I think we have to change our name.
She got there before
She got there
us.
first.
Got there first. Anyway, she won the race, so that's great.
Yeah. So that's it.
So I went from like. So I've kind of like cast on way too many things because I don't know why, because I was so happy that I got stuff off, and then I just it's the issue is that I still felt like I was winter knitting. So I have 2 sweaters because I felt the winter, but now that the weather got nicer, I'm like, I feel like summer knitting now. And I kind of knew that.
Castonitis. I think you have I think that now that Gianluca's graduating and you have more free time, I think you're seeing vistas of time opening up to you, Lise, that you're going to be able to
it's not happening right away, but I seem to think
but in anticipation, you're casting them all on and you're going to have time.
But even those 2 sweaters I cast on, I kind of knew that it was the end of the season, but I had cast-on-itis, so I cast them on. Yeah. And I'm going to Japan at the end of June, and it's like 40 degrees in Japan. So I'm like, I can't knit with wool. I have to have linen, but then I have to have an easy project because it's going to be social. So I'm just casting on a whole bunch of stuff, and who knows what happens. So what I've decided is the 2 sweaters. I mean, I shouldn't say I cast on because the rose cardigan, I'm working on the band.
Oh, yeah, you're almost done.
Well, almost done the sweater, but not the band.
Yeah, but...
So what I decided is that the stalactite, which I cast on last time, and the rose cardigan are going to be my Rhinebeck sweaters. So that gives me from now...
So you're putting those on the back burner?
I'm putting it on the back burner because it's summer now.
Yeah.
And those are going to be my Rhinebeck sweaters. So I'm giving myself all the way to October. However, I did a little bit of the blue. So... I did.
Oh, this is nice. It'll just show how those 2 colors play together.
Exactly. So at least, I did a little progress because I did want to show a bit of the blue.
Yeah.
So they look so nice together.
So you've done 2 rows since our last podcast.
2 rows.
Had you done the?
No, I hadn't done blue.
Okay.
I think I may have done 4 rows.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look at that. So this is how much I've done on the stalactite, but it will be beautiful.
It'll be gorgeous.
It will be gorgeous. So that's one work in progress, which will be dormant for a little while. Okay, so then I'm designing. I showed the swatch of my what I was testing. Remember last week, and then I scrapped it. Okay. Because I wanted to make it work, but it wasn't working. So I did a whole long swatch. Yeah. Then I started a swatch with that pattern. Mm-hmm. It wasn't working, so I took it out. And I started it again in a different way with that same pattern. And I'm like, it's still not working. So then I ripped it out.
So you gave up.
So I gave up. And then in the night.
On that pattern.
On that pattern. So in the night, I was laying in bed thinking, okay, what do I want that pattern to look like? So I decided to keep the shape. And so I didn't block it. So it kind of bothers me because it's not all even. So it will be beautiful though.
But it looks even.
Yeah, but don't look too closely. So.
Looks surprisingly even for not being at all blocked, not even steamed.
Okay, no, nothing. So it's kind of starting, it's a rib. And then what I'm doing is I'm doing this little, it's kind of like a cable, but that you don't have to, it's only like, it's like a cross thing. Mm-hmm. So I knit I knit through the back loop on the second stitch and knit the first stitch and then drop them off. Okay. So it's kind of like doing a cross without needing a cable needle. I don't know. I'm sure it's a thing. I just thought about doing it. So I'm sure it's a stitch that exists.
Maybe you invented it, at least.
Maybe that is hilarious. Obviously not, but maybe. So what I'm doing is I'm doing this 2 knit, 1 purl rib, and then I'm interspersing with these these cross stitches, and then I'm slowly dropping the rib. And then I'm doing stockinette. So I got this idea from Isabell Kraemer where she had the lace and then stockinette. So I kind of like that. So then it's going to grow, and then eventually I'm going to drop another one, and it's going to be more stockinette. Okay. So I don't know if I'm explaining this clearly, but anyways.
But basically it'll be like a very long funnel in a way.
That's a good way of describing it. Like a funnel, but not 3D, obviously flat. It's not in the round. So this section will eventually get smaller, and this one will get bigger, because you can see that I dropped here, I stopped the rib here, and then I stopped the rib here. So it's like I stop this rib, then I stop that rib, then I'll eventually stop this rib, and then it'll go on. So
it's going to be very pretty. And so that's with the Pollock yarn, did you say?
Yeah. No, I didn't. Thanks. That's for Juniper Moon Farms Pollock yarn. So it's very subtle color changes, and I kind of thought that was fun.
Really pretty. It's a green and yellow and cream, right?
Yeah, and I'm having fun knitting it, and I've got into the groove now, so I know where I have to do my increases. And I started off doing increase every 8th row, then I went to 6 rows, and now I'm going to go to every 4 rows, so it grows a little bit more quickly.
Very nice.
So this is our typical design as you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have that, and then I have one more. Then I have another one in my head.
Look at you.
Like I said, it's cast-on-itis. So this is actually a pattern that I designed called Le Petit Parisien. So the idea, it's like a simple little kerchief that, Parisian women wear that looks so chic. And the original one was done in Habu.
Yeah.
The silk.
The wrapped silk.
The wrapped silk. So then we don't carry that anymore. So then we redid it in kestrel. So it's a little bit of a heavier texture, but it still gives you that nice little shape. And then we got vine in.
The vine.
So again, I haven't blocked this one. So, look at that.
What's wrong?
The little. Oh, no, that's where I dropped the stitch. Okay, nothing. So here...
nothing to see here.
Nothing. So this is done in Shibui Vine, which is the yarn we profiled last week.
Yeah.
Which is like a paper linen. And this resembles more the silk, the Habu wrap silk that I used. It's a lot lighter than the Kestrel. So I decided...
It's so light, eh? It weighs nothing.
It's like nothing, but it gives you just that layer of protection if you want a little bit of coverage. So I decided that I'm redoing it, the pattern, the Petit Parisien, in that yarn, in the Vine, Shibui Vine. However, I haven't decided if it's going to be a Petit Parisien or a Petit Parisien Plus.
Ooh.
So maybe I'll make it a little longer.
You might just make it bigger?
I might make it bigger. Yeah. Because the Petit Parisien will use one skein. Okay. But I'm like, maybe I'll do 2 skeins and it'll sit a little bit like this. Yeah. It'll be this size. Yeah. And it'll be light for summer. So I'm like, maybe I'll do that.
Yeah.
So that's my other project.
Very pretty.
I have to say, I mean, it's just for people knitting, like we always say, linen yards sometimes are tricky to knit with. So it is sometimes I get my needle stuck in the little wrap because it's wrapped in paper. Oh, because it's
wrapped, okay.
But don't let that stop you because the results are so beautiful.
Well, that yarn is a little bit special, right? Yeah. I mean, most of our linens aren't wrapped like that.
No.
So
it's a little bit special, but sometimes, you have a little sacrifice.
I think what Francois said was this one has maybe a little bit more stretch than regular linen.
Oh, I think she's right. Yeah, I think she's right. Yes, she is right. Because I originally started this with another linen yarn, and it was harder to do my increases.
Okay, so maybe it's like a gateway to linen.
Yarn. But yeah, so don't let the funny structure bother you because it has beautiful results.
And yarns like that just block so beautifully too. Yeah. They look like a mess. Although I have to say, this one, I just gave it a steam. It hasn't been wet blocked or anything yet.
Is it because the Kestrel is heavy?
I think it might be because it's heavy and it just steams right out. You just put a little steam on it and it just hangs.
Yeah, and it's great.
I mean, I know with the Petit Lin Plus, and the Euroflax linen that we used to have, those ones really look terrible until they're wet blocked.
But yeah, like the Vine, it will look much nicer when it's blocked.
Yeah.
And I have one more work in progress in my head.
Okay.
So this one is called...
Oh, is this dream knitting? This is my dream knitting category?
This is the Mio. It's called the Mio. It's the brand new Ami Risu that just came out. And it's done in... I looked at it on the cover. I'm like, oh, I think that's my style. It's coming out at the end of the week.
Okay.
So by the time this podcast is up, you can purchase it from us. So this is the new Ami Risu. And I just saw this. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's me. That's my style. It's a nice texture.
It helps that the Fino came in today. Our big order of Fino arrived this afternoon.
I looked at it and I'm like, oh, and it's done in Julia Saint Fino. Isn't that perfect?
This exact colorway.
Yeah, it's called Keep Me. And it's the pattern is designed by Paula Pereira. Mm-hmm. And it's called Mio, and it's a 22 stitch gauge.
What I really like is the fact that it's done in reverse stockinette.
Yes.
Which I think always takes speckles to a level of sophistication that
like my
they
rose
don't
cardigan.
Always have in stockinette.
My rose cardigan is exactly right.
Yeah.
So I have decided, I asked Françoise and Melissa's opinion because they know me. Mm. They know me and they know how to guide me. So I decided I'm doing it in fleur pressée. So it's a subtle speckle with a little bit of color that it will go with everything.
It's looking very pink there, but it's more of a...
It's more like a mauvey.
Yeah, maybe pull it back a bit. It's more of a natural with a bit of a pinky...
So I was debating between a few colors. Like I was debating between this one, which is called Mignardise. Mm-hmm. This one I think would look better on me, but I don't think I could handle a sweater in this color. So and then I was gonna do pixelated, but then I was like, oh, you always do gray. So I think this will be nice. So I really want to cast this on. But as you can see, I already have further colors. And this is not a summer yarn. Fait que je sais pas si je vais le faire ou non, mais c'est dans mon cœur. It's a coup de cœur.
There you go.
I want us to go home right now and knit it.
And knit.
So that's a really beautiful, and we'll look at that. I'll show you.
And I'm sure there are going to be so many coup de cœurs.
Oh, there's so many nice things.
You even have a chance to cast that on.
Oh, Melissa.
So many incredible magazines coming out, you guys. Okay, we'll talk about those at the end of the episode, I think. Yeah.
So we're going to go through. So we have quite a few store samples. Some are new. Okay. Some are from previous seasons that are winners that we love.
Okay, so our first store sample, which is new, hot off the needles, Chloe's Needles, is, you guys, look how pretty that is.
So pretty.
This is the Odyssey Shawl by Joji Locatelli. And this was a pattern that Joji released for free a couple of months ago as just a sort of a little way of giving, you know, as she said, her way of giving back a little bit to the knitting community. And so we decided to knit, her version is just beautiful. It's all with greens and
which is the colors we would normally knit with.
Yeah, exactly. So then we thought, oh, let's maybe, we originally were going to do it in very similar colorways, and we thought, oh, let's try and do something a little bit different. So
plus these colors are very in season now. People are loving those colors.
This is Julie Asselin Les DK, and Julie just has such beautiful...
Her palette is really amazing, you know. She changed her palette, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, to go with more natural dyes. And she just, everything is just so cohesive and so beautiful.
Exactly. And I love, you know, it's not, it wouldn't normally have been my choice to put the dark color at the top. Normally I would have used that as the third color just to weight the shawl a little bit, but I just felt that it was such a great color to have up next to the face as being the most intense one. And I took some photos of it today, and they're just so pretty, and the way it sort of wraps around. You can wear it as a shawl, a scarf. It's very, very big, long,
like the hipster in a way.
It's a little bit like the hipster. So, and oops, sorry, Lisa, I hit you right in the face there.
No, it's my just holy.
And Chloe said it was an incredibly fun pattern. Really, really. I mean, it flies off your needles for starters because it's a DK weight, and then it was just, you know, these sort of pretty little lace motifs in between a lot of garters. So
with
it was
a little
just
picot.
sort of, with a little picot edge at the end. So a fun knit. It didn't take her that long.
No, it was.
And so we have some kits in store in this yarn right now, and in another colorway as well that we still have. They probably will be gone by the time this podcast airs, but we will order some more.
Yeah, and we just got an order of Les DK in. We just got a whole order of Julie Asselin, so you might be able to order à la carte as well.
Exactly.
And actually, we wanted to mention when I showed the pattern that we just wanted to show some of Julie's colorways.
This is the Fino.
Yeah, so this is the Fino, but she has her same colorways in all her yarn. We just got restocked with the Merletto, which is her lace weight, which is, I did a shawl in that. We'll show it in we'll do some lace weight projects in our next podcast. So we have the Merletto, we have the Fino, and we have the Lezu.
Oops.
And just beautiful. So these are some of her colors. So this one is Thé d'après-midi. So it's more on the pinkish. This one is more on the lilac, and this is romance. The heart. I'm sorry, I don't find you're seeing it very well.
No.
Petit fruit. Yeah, I think you're right, Melissa. If you hold it backward a little bit,
right?
And then rose gold. It's great.
So
it does
pretty.
Look rose gold.
Yeah.
I really like this color too.
Okay, you can just take these out
so
one
then
at a
we
time
have
here.
Cité d'Or, and then we have Pixelated, which is on a grayish blue base.
There's Olea.
Or Olea. See, it's a little more yellowish than it looks. It looks a little more apple green on the screen. This one is Folk, which is a blue sort of. I feel that it's similar to the one I'm going to use, but on the blue, on the bluish side rather than the. Like I just feel that it's kind of the same idea.
Same idea, but in blues.
Turquoise.
There's the Keep Me that you were contemplating.
The original pattern is in the Keep Me, and then this one is Biarritz.
And this is the one you're using.
And this is the Fleur Pressée. So those are some really, her palette is just beautiful. So we have pretty good pictures on our website that you can look at that. So that's nice. The Odyssey shawl, and then we have another new one called the Donner, which is right here, and it's by Elizabeth Doherty. And this one came out last year, and we had wanted to knit it, and then we just missed the season, and so we decided to knit it up. So we did it in the Petit Lin Plus, and it was Jocelyn, right, who did this for us?
Exactly.
So Jocelyn is one of our great teachers and knitters, and we did it in gray because we do have some brighter summer sweaters, and we decided to do this one in gray. And
classic. It's classic.
Yeah, it's super classic, and this is just a texture here. So it's a basic sweater.
Do you think we should pull it off, please, to show it? Or?
I find it looks nice.
Yeah.
Here, no?
Okay, maybe pull it a little closer.
I was going to turn it around.
Okay. Oh yeah, because it has such a beautiful sleeve
here.
detail.
So that's what Jocelyn said. She found it very interesting, the detail over here and the way the sleeve goes. So I think we can see that one.
I took some really close up pictures, and they're on Ravelry and our Instagram page. So if you want to see it closer.
Nice. It has like a really nice curve here at the shoulder, and this is our pearl ridge. So that's super Super nice. So this is done in, as we said, Espace Tricot Petit Lin, and it just has this really nice A-line shape.
Is it Petit Lin or Plus?
Petit Lin Plus.
Which is a sport weight one.
Yeah.
This one is Summer.
By
Ankestrick.
Ankestrick.
And this is actually knit with the same yarn Lisa's designing her shawl with.
The pollock.
Right?
Yeah.
Juniper Moonfarm pollock, which is a blend of linen and silk, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's a really different construction as well, like the way the shoulders and the sleeves go. So that's really fun. I mean, it's nice to have a sweater or a t-shirt that has a bit of a different construction.
Yeah, because it does have an interesting construction because it doesn't really have separate sleeves. It just has increases, and then you just pick up your armhole and you do some ribbing.
Yeah, so it has a very interesting look.
And yet, because it's a little wider, it gives, it comes down your arm a little ways, so it's not super, super short.
So some of the notes that Giovanna, who's another one of our great teachers here, suggested is that she found the armhole and the bottom a little bit tight.
Okay.
So when you're going to bind off, you might want to choose a loose bind off for that. So she did the sewn bind off. So you might want to check that on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, because she said that she found it quite tight, and Françoise agreed with her. So she did the sewn bind off for that. And if you look at the pictures on Ravelry, you'll see how a person is wearing it.
Yeah, I took pictures today too. So
and this yarn is really lovely.
It's it's a perfect summer yarn.
It's so good. It's like linen-y.
It has the weight and the crispness of linen and just that silkiness.
The silkiness
of silk. It's smooth. You just feel like if it's warm out, it's just gonna glide. It's just gonna glide on your skin.
Like what I feel with linens, like our Espace Tricot linen or the Kestrel or the Sparrow, it's like there's a crispness and a coolness to them, and they hang beautifully. Whereas when you're looking at this, it's different. There's a bit of a warmth, so it's still
with
like crisp, but with the silk, there's a little bit of a warmth to it. Or when you have the twig, for example, so it gives you a different texture, and both are beautiful.
Yeah,
it depends what you feel like having against your skin.
Yeah,
at that moment.
think it's
so it's really beautiful.
There's just something about that silk, though. It just lends that softness too that maybe linen doesn't have until you've really broken it in a little bit,
And this yarn is becoming another coup de cœur, eh? A really, really nice yarn.
Linen one. Is that going to be like your
myself?
Yourself, please.
At a cheaper at
a
cheaper price point.
Far more affordable price point.
It's interesting when I was designing the shawl, I'm like, I really want a white self, like my European road trip, because my European road trip shawl lives here. I'm like, do I have it in me to knit another one? Let's go.
Well, maybe it's time to take your European road trip home.
Maybe it is. Maybe take it on my trip, my Japanese road trip.
This bag is super fun, you guys. This is a bag knit with butterfly super tan cotton and finished with one of these great removable leather handles from Jewel Designs. And this pattern just came about because Mona and I were in the store and we had, we were looking at the cotton and we were looking at, what can we do with it? We wanted to do something fun, and we have a couple of bag patterns already, but I thought, this yarn double-stranded just make a really great
really
bag pattern.
Strong and sturdy.
So we just brainstormed a design. We decided to just do like a 1-inch gusset, 1.5-inch gusset.
And it's interesting because you don't often see, you either see no gusset or a large gusset,
right?
So it's kind of nice.
And I said, I just want a bag that can be knit in the round, just, so is the gusset is knit flat, and you just pick up your stitches around and you knit straight up until you pretty much finish your contrast color, change to your main color, and you just go straight up, and then you've got a little bit of a change here for the part.
Yeah, and Mona decided to do that because she said it laid flat and it looked a lot nicer because she tried it the other way, and she said
it doesn't flip up, which is really nice. All we've done is fold over the cuff and screwed in our removable closures, and that is enough to keep the cuff down.
That's perfect. A no-sew bag. That's amazing.
And it has such
and
a
you know
great
what? And it's thick
weight.
And it holds, and you don't have to worry about bottoming
out. Stretch out of shape. And I just think that this is great using around town. It's great just shoving a bunch of stuff in for the beach. Throw your wallet, your sunglasses, and your book. That's all you need.
That's all you need.
and your phone.
And what's great too is that if cotton does stretch out, then you just throw it in the machine and the dryer. And that's what's great about the handles is that you take them off. Because it's always like you have a nice cotton bag or linen bag and you can't wash it because it has a leather handle. So Jewel is amazing for having thought of that.
So what we did was we made kits for 3 different colorways. So we have the Caribbean blue, sort of vibrant blue that Mona really likes. We had a hot pink. with the natural, and then, obviously my choice was black with the natural.
Oh, I thought this was your choice.
Oh, yeah. Or the hot pink. So I might knit up a version in the black and white.
You didn't give the name of it. It's called
the High Season Tote. And then what we also did too is we ordered the handles from Jewel Designs in 2 different lengths. So this is the 28-inch length, I believe, and this is long enough if you just want to have it as a shoulder bag. And then we ordered 36-inch as well, and so we have 2 kits available for both.
Can you do crossbody? You
and
think?
That's why we did the 36.
Okay.
So you could do the 36 crossbody. So that's why we did that.
And we just wanted, so this is the funny story with this yarn is that we never wanted to get it because we thought the labels were not very nice. And then Emilia told us it was the best cotton ever, that her mother knits with it all the time.
And she was right.
And she was right. So this is a fantastic mercerized cotton. It's a DK weight.
It will just whatever you knit with it will last forever and always look new.
Yeah, and it has. I mean, here it looks shinier, but it does have a little shine, but not as shiny as it.
Do you think we should hold things further back, Lisa?
Again, this is like the third time. Yeah, this is the third time you told me.
I know. We're so used to showing stuff up
close. See, with the new light now, we have to have a new strategy. So these are. So you can also do it one color if you want it.
Yeah, we've got a million colors in
3 colors.
So, we have kits in the 3 different colorways, but if you want to build your own, there's tons of yarn here.
Yeah, we have
tons of options.
All a la carte.
Exactly.
So I'm going to jump in with the bag pattern because I had designed a bag a few seasons ago called the Summer Fling. And similar idea. It's tiny. People are surprised. They always think it's bigger than it is, even though the dimensions are mentioned. But as Melissa said, I just wanted a little thing where I can put my sunglasses, my phone, my wallet, and my keys. So pretty small, and all of that fits in here. So how I did the pattern was the same idea. But so if you see, I did a rectangle. But what I did was I put the end stitches on hold because I didn't want to have a ridge. So I did a rectangle. So I did like a what's it called, a provisional cast on. Yeah. I did a rectangle, and then I kept those live. I picked up from the provisional cast on, picked up, and I went up.
Okay, nice.
So then you don't see, if you're looking at it from the side,
you just got the gusset going that way.
Yeah, you don't have it up the side. So again, just for reference. When podcasters
no crossbody there.
No, for reference, I'm 5'6". So this is like a cute little linen summer. I thought it was cute. Summer fling.
It's 2 skeins of Quinsico
Sparrow. Sparrow is one of our favorite yarns as well. So, and we have some other bag designs. If you check our Ravelry design page, we have a couple more. I designed another one, and then Melissa designed another one as well. So I just wanted to show you the Sparrow. So is more of like it's kind of like our Pitsy Lane in a way. Yeah. It's wet spun. But this one is a fingering weight. So I just brought in a variety of colors. So that is a great yarn that we love, and we have other samples we're showing that. Okay, so maybe we should show our one winter sample that we have, which Catherine knit.
Oh, yes.
So Catherine knit this sweater in Biche and Bush, and she was loving the yarn and the sweater so much, she couldn't put it down. It was like record time.
And it's so funny. I hear so many variations on how to pronounce Biche et Bush. Oh. It's Biche et Bush, you guys.
Biche et Bush.
Biche et Bush.
Biche is a female doe, I think, a baby doe. Yeah. And Bush is like a log. Biche et Bush. So anyway, Catherine fell in love. Catherine fell in love with this yarn.
Le Petit Lambswool.
And what she kept telling us, she wrote all her notes for us. She's so cute. So the name is called.
Did she do it in exact the
colors?
The exact colors of the
because it's blue here.
Oh, okay.
And she did in brown.
Oh yeah.
So how would you pronounce that?
I would say THREIPMUIR.
And it's by Ysolda. Ysolda Teague. And so she said she used 4 skeins of the dark gray, 1 of the mustard, and 1 of the red brown, but she didn't use the full skein. It's a 24 stitch gauge, and she loves the fact that it weighs 200 grams. She goes, I can't believe I have a sweater that weighs 200 grams, and there's color work, and it's so warm, and it's so light. It's like a feather. And it's true,
this color work just gives it all of this nice density up here.
So her little notes are she used 4 millimeter for the body, 4.5 for the color work, and 3.5 for the ribbing.
And she did a beautiful job. I mean, she's hardly done color work.
No, she's new to color work, and it's fantastic. So she did bigger than suggested because she's a tight knitter.
Okay.
And she also bound off
went up
with
a needle.
Yeah, she went up some needle sizes for different things.
Okay.
So if you're a tight knitter, go up needles. And she did her color work on a bigger needle than her main body.
Okay.
And she used opening stitch markers to mark the decreased rows on the sleeves. And she said, leave them. Oh, she has them in. Does she have them in there? She said, please leave them in there. So I don't know if she has. No, she blocked it. So maybe, you know why? I know why. Because it's very hard to see it with this gray, her increases.
So mark your increases. You go
mark your decreases.
Decreases,
so
but leave them in.
Yeah, so she left her stitch marker in. Now I understand why.
So she can count them.
So she could count them because she said she had a hard time seeing them in her knitting.
Okay.
And she did not do the neckband because the neckline is already small enough for me.
Okay.
So she just
Did you
left
show
it.
the original picture on the cover?
So the neckband is a rib. And she decided just to keep it like a rolled hem. It looks fab on her.
It looks really good on her.
And again, I can't emphasize enough how much it's so lightweight. She was like freaking out, 200-gram sweater.
Beautiful job, Catherine.
Beautiful job, Catherine. So that's and I think everything else now we have is
just
pretty
store sample.
Yeah, store sample.
Old store sample.
Yeah, and I think most of it is actually in quince sparrow or quince kestrel
or Euroflax.
Oh yeah, Euroflax, which we can use Petit. So this is a sweater by Isabell Kraemer that I knit quite a while ago, and it's called the WESTBOURNE. So this is a really fun sweater that was done in pigeon and butternut. So, because my colors here, I should mention, are butternut and sans, S-A-N-S. And then this one I did in pigeon and in butternut. And what's nice is that there's a bit of a fake seam on the side. So it's knit in the round, but you can see over there, it's a purl stitch to sort of give that fake seam. So this is like a really easy, fun...
It's classic Isabell Kraemer.
Yes.
It's so nice.
It's one of her older designs, but an oldie and a goodie.
I'm looking distracted because I'm trying to
Slice of linen.
Slice of linen. Thank you, Lisa.
This was our Saga who worked for us for a year, and she went back home to France to Toulouse.
This is a fun pattern, you guys. It's just basically one back and two fronts, and these are just exact. This
exactly
is like
half one rectangle, and this is like two small rectangles and seamed.
And the net result is that the front is exactly the same as the back, so it's totally reversible.
So you could do two colors, you could do one color, you could do three colors, and you can wear it just with, like Melissa said, it's reversible.
And it's a great pattern. It's by Susan Barstein, right?
Yes. And this was done
Slice of linen. I think we've had this in the store for a couple of years
Saga
now.
hasn't been with us for
years.
4 years or something. So
this is done with the Petit Lin. No,
Euroflax.
It's done with the Euroflax, Louette Euroflax, and it is
the same as
Petit Lin Plus is a perfect substitute for us. So we don't carry the Louette anymore, but we carry Petit Lin Plus.
Yeah, so because it's a sport weight linen, so that's a fun one to do.
This is just a great one to throw on her.
Okay.
Nice lightweight one for the summer. Okay, Lise, this is your Davis.
Yes, this is my Davis, so it's like a pretty simple. I mean, I find sometimes showing it on a hanger doesn't do justice, so you have to maybe go to the pattern. So this one is by Pam Allen, and it's called the Davis, and I really like it because it's just simple. It's done in kestrel. Maybe you could do it in 4 days, maybe less because there's no lace. Maybe 3 days.
Maybe.
The only difficulty I found with this is that I feel that the sleeve was very short. Here, the opening was short. I feel like we already showed this pattern.
We did show this
I think
pattern.
I just talked about it. Maybe the last podcast. So forgive us if we did. Did we? I think as I just said it.
But that's all right.
Oh, it's good.
You guys, it's summer. You need
to know this stuff. So what I do, I actually had to
make it bigger. The opening?
So basically what you do is you knit in the round. I believe it's bottom up. Yeah, you knit in the round. So I had to just pick back a few rows to make it a little bit bigger. But I have my notes on my my Ravelry page. So what you need to do is look at the schematic, see what it measures, what your arms measure, and then you decide if you need to leave an extra inch or half inch. But it's kind of nice because the sweater is boxy, and Hohi talked about this in her workshop. She said it's nice when arms are more fitted and your body is boxy to balance it out. So I didn't want loose arms. I liked it, but it was a bit too tight, let's just say.
Okay.
So that was it by Pam Allen, and it's
well,
the
if
Davis
we talked
and
about
Kestrel.
that one, did we talk about this one?
I don't think we talked about that one. I don't know why.
So actually, we knit this at around the same time, right? Lise, you worked on that one.
Yes.
I worked in this one.
Yeah,
and this is also knit with the Kestrel, and it's called the DESCHAIN. It's a pattern by Leila Raabe, and it came out as part of the Linen Noir collection that Quince & Co. had last year or 2 years ago?
I think it was 2 years ago. It was very popular. We couldn't keep it in stock, that color.
So it's very simple. It's done in pieces. So you've got a front and back, and then I can't remember. I think you seam them and then you pick up and work your sleeves downwards. The linen panel is only on the front. And so, it's a super quick knit. I mean, anything at this gauge, it's a 14-stitch gauge, so it knits up in
4 days.
I don't remember how. I remember I was working on this one when I was on a cruise with my mother. She treated me to a cruise that year. So,
and it's a very boho chic kind of look, I find.
Exactly.
It's very cool.
And it totally just jives with the way I like to dress, which is to wear it over, wear longer things underneath.
Tunic, to dress younger.
Tunic, exactly.
To make you look younger.
To make me look younger, because that's how all the young kids are doing it, at least.
Oh, mama.
So I did add, the sweater is quite cropped, so I did add an extra repeat of the lace.
And you put it in you put it in the notes on Ravelry. I remember that.
Yes. Okay. Oh, and then since we're on the Linen Noir collection, the CULLUM.
And Sasha knit that for us, I believe.
That's right.
Sasha.
And that one is actually knit with is it ash? Is it called ash?
I think it's called ash.
The black yarn, the black colorway in the Sparrow. This is in Quince & Co. Sparrow. So again, it's very simple. Did I say it was designed by Leila Raabe?
No.
As well? And so it's part of that whole collection, the Linen Noir collection. And there, now you can really see the lace at the top. So pretty.
It is. It's nice to have that nice little detail.
So this is a pattern by Isabell Kraemer. I thought it was actually Leila Raabe who did that whole collection, but this one is by
They
Isabell
shared the
Kraemer.
love.
Yeah. So just beautiful. Yeah. So this one has been very popular in the
Sparrow
store as well.
Yeah,
in the Sparrow.
We love Sparrow and Kestrel by Quince.
This one was a fun one. Who designed this one?
Now this was a 2-day. This was a 2-day knit for sure. So this one is Vested Interest by Jamie
Thomas, and this is literally a rectangle. It is knit from one end to the other. You want to grab the other end?
We have a picture in a podcast with us looking through the holes of it. Now that I remember.
So it's really just a rectangle knit from one end to the other, and then I think you do some casting on and some casting off and casting back on to make your armholes, and then
it's just like a chic thing. It's like a little
super chic.
You just throw it on. So this is the Emilia poncho, which was super popular. Françoise knit this for herself, and I can't remember who knit this for us now, but this is done in our Espace Tricot Petit Lin Plus, which is our sport weight, and so basically it is a rectangle. So if we fold it, it's a rectangle.
You can just see that it's seamed here.
Right here.
Yeah.
So it's a rectangle that's folded and seamed. So look at it.
So it makes
right
a poncho that you can either wear like this over your shoulder or like this. So where this part goes across.
Yeah, on the picture she shows it that she has
and that's the back.
And so, you can wear it poncho style over the shoulder or this in the middle. And it's just stockinette with this beautiful lace pattern. So it's fun because it's an easy knit, but you have that little bit of, diversity at the other end. And it's knit by, I have the name, it's by Emilia Menendez.
Yeah.
So this is a very old sample. This is when we first got Sparrow. It's called Light and Up.
Did you knit this one?
No, Samantha knit this one for us, or Françoise. I can't remember if it was Samantha or Françoise. And it's by Carolyn, I guess, Wiens, Weins. And again, just a triangle shawl that's a stockinette with this little knit two together yarn over detail at the bottom.
Very simple.
So this would be a good beginner shawl. If somebody's never knit a shawl and you want something in linen, this would be a nice shawl to do. And we always recommend either Addy lace tips or bamboo wood needles for knitting with linen. We find you get a little bit more grip, especially if you're beginning.
Because the lace tips
there's a finish on them. There's a brass finish. Because
so they're a bit grippier.
If you go with you're gonna be, it's like like a puppy dog who's on ice, who's
that's a good way of describing it.
When you're knitting that with metal.
There's just nowhere for the yarn to take
hold
purchase, right? So with I usually use my licky needles now, my wooden licky needles.
I use my tulip or my Addy bamboo kits. My Addy bamboo
I did use for
kits.
this one. I will say that the Addy turbos were just fine.
Oh, you did turbo? Yeah, I can see that.
But for the finer ones, for sure.
But I'm I'm doing with this one here. I'm using my Addies. my bamboo.
The bamboo.
Yeah,
Okay.
on the vine. I'm using the bamboo for that. But you could, I guess, because there's a little bit of because of the structure of the yarn with the wrap, you could get away with the metal needle because there is a bit of a friction.
Yeah.
I would think.
Whatever you prefer.
Whatever you
guys.
prefer. So this is a pattern I designed last year, and I called it Étoile Maritime. I was inspired.
This is so pretty.
I was inspired by the fishermen's nets that I saw when I was in the Maritimes. So it's really an airy shawl, and what I like is the tassels give it a nice weight, so it hangs well, and it's just like a nice open work. It's called the star mesh rib. That took me a heck of a long time to figure out how to increase that mesh rib.
That math.
That math, though. I tell you, it's not my forte, but it worked out. So I love this color. It's one of my favorite colors in Sparrow. It's called Fundy.
It is beautiful.
And because I often like something around my neck, but you don't want obviously something hot, and the fact that it's very airy, it's very light. You don't feel like you're wearing much, so you can still have something around your neck.
It's very elegant too.
Oh, merci.
Just, it elevates a t-shirt.
Yeah, you're right. Just like this elevates a old t-shirt. So it's called, this one is Étoile Maritime in the Sparrow.
Very nice.
And then we have another shawl.
You were on fire last year with your shawl designs.
I was. Now this isn't my design, but I knit this in Sparrow. Is it Sarah Morris who's the designer? It's called Ship to Shore.
Yes.
So I did mods because I wanted to make it a little bit bigger. It was originally done in one skein of Shibui linen, which was 200 and some odd meters. So I did it in Sparrow, and I wanted it to make it bigger. So I actually used 3 skeins of Sparrow, and it's on a 5.5. So my mods are on our Ravelry page. And again, I like this too. It's a nice summer shawl knit.
Is that a similar stitch to the?
No, this is just a knit 2 together yarn over.
Okay.
And then here, there's like a little picot edge, which gave it a little bit of a, it's by Katie Rempe, R-E-M-P-E.
Okay.
And so I really, so this is Ship to Shore by Katie Rempe. And sometimes, it's interesting. We're more in a simple stockinette mood. Sometimes we're in a garter mood. Sometimes we're in a lacy mood, texture. And sometimes you can look at a lace and think, oh, it looks a little bit old-fashioned. And then other days you look at it and say, oh, no, I like that. Beautiful. It's so beautiful. Yeah. It's, retro and coming back. Yeah. So I think that's what's important, to show different textures and different patterns, because you could personally be in a different mood, even though the zeitgeist might be leaning more in one direction.
Yeah, it's true.
You might be like, oh, no, but I'm really wanting to feel that little bit of old schoolness.
Exactly. Go with what you love, you guys. Go with what...
There's just, knitting is a pleasure, right? So take things that, not just that's what we find sometimes
Tune
hard.
into what you really like and what you are attracted to, and not necessarily what the hot thing is.
Yeah, because it's so hard. It's so easy to get, pulled into that. That's what's...
it happens to all of us.
Yes, we are not immune to it.
We are totally not immune to it.
But what I started doing is, we have, that's what's nice about Ravelry. You have your favorites, right? And so I just have Lisa's possibilities, and
it's
I just
like
add
a rotating
stuff.
Thing where you add and delete, add and delete, add and delete.
And then you're like, oh, I like that, but I'm not ready to knit it, but maybe I'll come back to it. And then you come back to it and you're like, oh, why did I put that in there? I'm not sure.
I'm never knitting that.
So it's nice to have that.
Yeah.
So I think we might have gone, I think we went through all our samples. So one sample hey,
you didn't show this.
Oh no, because I didn't bring it because I figured I had enough stuff already. So it's my black tartan that's done in the Lamel garn in the Raabe. So I went back to that for a little while because I wanted I didn't know what to cast on, so I just did that. So I did.
Yeah,
I did
good,
quite a few
actually.
inches.
It's good to have your sort of your project that you knit on while you're contemplating the
other things, the big decisions in life.
Exactly.
So then we wanted to talk about a few of the. So we talked about our Julie Asselin that we just got restocked.
Yeah, I was going to talk about the Biche Bouche Le Petit Lamb's wool was restocked, I think, since our last podcast.
Yes, I think so.
So I meant to mention it while we were talking about the THREIPMUIR sweater.
And we're going to be bringing in the Gros Lamb's wool in the fall, so stay tuned for that. Also, the De Rerum Natura flew off our shelves, and we placed a second order, so that should be arriving soon for both the Gilead and the Ulysse. And
we
then
still have a lot of stuff. We
have a lot of colors coming in. And so we're all excited. We have 2 new yarn lines coming in, and we've been waiting quite a while to get on their list, but finally they had an opening for us. And so one of the first
we very promptly placed our first order for Retrosaria Rosa Pomar, the Mondim base. And so we may bring in the Briska and the Mungo as well, but for now we're starting with the Mondim, and that is very exciting. So the Mondim is the one that Rosa Pomar and Retrosaria and Levaniemi have collaborated on. So we are not bringing in the Levaniemi dyed versions of Mondim, of course, although we would love to, but we are bringing in the Mondim base, and it comes in so many beautiful colorways. So these are the ones that are dyed in Portugal by Retrosaria, so we are
just waiting for
that order to be delivered. So and then the other one is
Hilsvåg, which is from Norway, and that's really exciting. We saw that at EYF last year, and we just loved it, and we're super excited. So really, I mean, our shop is just becoming like really incredible. Like all of our heart's desires are kutka. We have our beautiful.
Like we come and it's just like, oh, what to knit with first.
I know, and to think we have yarns now like from Portugal, from Norway, from Finland, from England, from Wales. We have yarns
all our Canadian yarns.
All our Canadian yarns are hand dyers from like coast to coast, from Sweet Georgia to Lichen and Lace to Artfill that's local to Julia Slane. I don't want to forget anybody, but there's so many beautiful yarns and our
Speaking of Lichen and Lace, shall we mention our restock?
Oh, yes.
The Marsh Mohair.
Yes.
This just came in today, you guys.
The colors are so luscious.
Been put into the system yet.
The colors are luscious.
I mean, we just grabbed a few off the top of the bins that we could reach, but there's way more colorways than this. Anyway, everything's just been
luscious
restocked,
and beautiful,
and that should definitely be up online before our podcast goes up.
Before it goes up. So, I mean, you know, it's amazing how people who knit, who love fiber, just you get so excited about the raw material, about the yarns and the colors, and like I was saying, all the textures.
We're years into this racket, and we're still so excited.
Oh, but we have to quit our jobs so we can knit more. Seriously. So the other new thing we have sort of a limited edition, limited supply of zigzag stitches. So Catherine is amazing. She owns Zigzag Stitches, and she works out of her home, and she did all of our boxy bags there. So we still have a few left of our Espace Tricot line. And so she does her own fabrics. And so we decided that we were sort of, as our boxy bags were running low, what we love about her bags is we love the quality. Her sewing is exceptional, and she has a lot of cute and fun prints that we thought people would like.
So we decided to opt for a few whimsical sort of little prints this time.
So it's the same idea, boxy bag.
So this is the boxy bag, and that one's the bigger boxy bag.
And so she has all. So we are going to be having them, and we have a limited supply. So we have a few of each.
Are with the sheep.
So she's so cute. She goes shopping, and then she kind of, knows what we like, and then she buys fabrics, and then she makes whatever she can. There you go. So we have the sheep. You have the fox.
Okay, you want me to open that one?
You go.
Well, I won't.
Yeah. And then she does really fun fabrics on the inside with pockets, so she really puts a lot of attention into that. And she has her own Etsy shop as well. So, and then we have this one.
Okay. This one, actually, Lise, if you turn it, can you see the owls? You see the owls?
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
You can see them on here are the eyes, you guys.
Oh, yeah. Super cool.
Yeah, so these are owls.
This is a very retro, and it's so cute. On the inside, it's like a needle and thread.
It's very pretty.
I feel like it's like, in the 50s, like, I don't know, your curtains or the chairs. They had those.
Your sheets.
Your sheets. I think I had sheets like that from my Italian grandmother.
This one's pretty.
Yeah, I'm really liking this. Like those.
That's very you.
It is very me.
Yeah.
I cannot take it. I have so many boxy bags.
We have enough bags. Leave some for the customers.
Yeah, exactly. See, this is an older one.
Yeah, that's an older
one. The bonbon that you and I both had.
Yeah.
And then she did these little, they're called sock and goes. So she traditionally does them in a 6-inch for DPNs and crochet hooks. And they're really good. I mean,
this one actually looks textured.
Oh, because of the pattern.
Yeah.
And then what she does inside is she has 2 sections, and then she has the open pocket. So you can put different DPNs, you can put crochet hooks, stitch holders, all different, the pin stitch holders. And then what we asked her to do is we asked her to do small ones, because I like, I wanted one for my little repair hooks and my cable needles and my scissors. So it's the same idea. But it's shorter. So she still has the 2 pockets in the main pocket. And this is, I keep this in my notions bag. And I have my scissors in the front, and I have all my repair hooks. And I gave her my dimensions so that the hooks wouldn't fall in. Okay. So she's fantastic.
So it's custom lace.
It's custom.
It's custom for
So
Lisa.
I think these are the small 4-inch ones, and those are the 6-inch ones. So those will be, hopefully they'll be up on the web store before the podcast airs, if not very shortly after.
Yeah, because this is going up in 2 days. So within a few days of the podcast going up anyway.
And then we have
these are fun.
These are so much fun. So, you know, everyone's always looking for a shawl pin or a shawl stick, or sometimes shawl sticks falls out. And then this company approached us called Knox Mountain. And these are shawl and cowl cups from Knox Mountain Knit Company.
You can get so many different kinds of these. These are made from upcycled leather belts, and as you can imagine, some belts are really ornate, some are really simple. We've opted to...
For the simple.
Yeah, we just say, whatever plain ones you have, send them to us in black and brown. We just like the really, really simple. I know a lot of people are also stocking them in the more ornate ones, so if you want something that's a little more textured or, you know, busy, then I'm sure you'll be able to find it in any case.
So the difficulty for us of selling online is that they're not standard, because they're all from, you know, repurposed belts. So what we suggest is, if you do order them online, just write a message saying you would prefer a black or a brown, and then
we'll choose one for you.
And then say, I prefer thinner or thicker.
Yeah. Are you going to put one on, Lise, just to show how it works?
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Like kind of like a bit of a rocker chick in it.
That is so cool.
Like, how cool is that? And it's not going to fall off. Yep. So it's really, really cool. And we just think it's a novel idea, and you're repurposing something.
I think it's great. I can't wait to wear mine.
So again, leave a little message if you want brown or black.
Yeah, don't you just feel totally hip wearing that?
I do. 10 years younger, like the young kids.
It'll take a decade right off you guys.
Just put a shawl cup.
Buy for that reason.
Exactly. Okay, so il y avait quelque chose d'autre. No, zigzag, the Knox. Oh yeah, the yarn. We forgot our new yarn.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
You guys.
Okay.
We have a new yarn from Erica Knight.
And it's called Wool Local, and it's a blend of British BFL and Massam. So Massam is done on it's like a kind of a brownish, I guess, grayish base.
So yes, the fleece that comes from that sheep kind of has that sort of grayish browny tone to it. So the mix of the BFL and Massam does have that cast, and so it gives the yarn that's dyed kind of a beautiful depth and a heathery look. And so as soon as our rep showed us this yarn, we were...
Oh, no, this is us. We met with Nick. We're like, we're not ordering anything. We're just like a social visit.
Yeah.
And then she showed us
coffee. We'll catch up.
And then she showed us this, and we're like, oh my God. Okay, only 6 colors? Okay, no brainer.
So I can't wait to knit with this one.
And the staff took it out of the box yesterday, and they were like, oh, did you smell this? Did you smell this? I'm like, I know, it smells like the sheep in the barn.
So
like, it's
good.
Amazing. And you know, it's funny, like I just randomly pick those and you pick those.
Yeah.
And they're just so beautiful together. Like the shades are beautiful.
There's only 6 colors.
You could do a piece fleece with this.
Oh, good idea.
You could totally, fleece flight. Oh my God, fleece flight with this. That would be so cool, eh, Melissa?
Yeah.
So this is a fingering weight yarn, and like we said...
Oh, you know what? You should double it and do that.
Yeah. Well, but you could do a fingering weight one.
I know, but
you're into the bigger and faster.
You're into
I'm a fine. I like fine.
Yeah, that'll take way too long.
It's like
That's
a
really good idea, though.
Yeah, look at that. That would be perfect. Fleece flight.
Fleece flight by Ninja Chickens. Knit Chickens. Okay, we are totally...
Fantastic. And Melissa, you suggested that you would double it to do the worsted version, but I would just do it in, I like thinner things. So I would do it in a fingering weight, because the first triangle decides your size. So you just keep going.
Yeah. Exactly. However, I think I would want it to go a little faster.
But it will go faster because you're like, I'm going to get to the next color. So you're going to knit faster so you can get to the next color.
I think double-stranded, you guys, might be the way to go for this.
Like we said, you choose what works for you.
Yes, exactly.
So it depends what you want.
Anyway, we're excited about this. We don't know what we're going to knit yet.
We don't.
But fleece flight, it could be on deck.
It could be. So beautiful yarn, wool loco. And what's really nice is it has a nice crimp to it.
Yeah.
So it has a nice crimp. It's a 2-ply, kind of a loose 2-ply. And because it has, like Melissa mentioned, it has the BFL massum, it has like a little bit of a halo without the mohair.
and the heathery look.
And the BFL massum are super soft. And because the BFL is more of a clear base, and
you guys,
the massum is a dark
I
base.
cannot express how good this smells.
If you like the smell of sheep and barn.
But I don't find it's like...
I mean, in a good way.
If you extract
it's
only
so
the
natural.
Beautiful essence of sheep and barn.
Yes, not like sheeps that have not been tended to and have lots of things around
it's not
them.
stinky, you guys.
No.
It just smells
it's just a beautiful. Natural. Okay, so we have that, and then I think the other thing is just we have a few books. Oh, we have some. We got Twig and Horn totes in. I don't know if they'll still be in.
Oh yeah, they've mostly already sold out. But I've actually placed 2 more orders.
Yes, you are on. It's funny whenever I see an email come in, I don't even see what it contains, but I see thank you for your order from Quince.
You know, Melissa's placing orders in the middle of the night.
Exactly, because those orders are always like 12, 1 in the morning. I'm like, oh, Melissa must have checked. Because every once in a while, randomly, we go to see if they're in stock, right?
Exactly.
So, Amirisu issue 18, which is summer 2019, which I discussed, which we received, but we will only be selling at the end of the week.
Okay, so many, you guys, this is magazine season.
Yes.
So we have Lina coming out at the end of the month.
Oh, and I just wanted to show here.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. They use these. That's okay. They use these clover pom poms that we sell, and those are fantastic pom pom makers. Yes, thank you. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Did you want to show anything else?
I mean, it's just all so lovely.
I know. You'll just have to buy the magazine, you guys. And if you just want to browse and see what's in them, most of these magazines put their patterns all up on Ravelry for browsing purposes, at least. I don't know if all of them are available for purchase right off the bat.
So this is a person who does upcycled tapestries, Vanessa Baragos. Look at that. Like, look how fantastic that is. That is so creative. And you know what's beautiful about the way books are being knit now with these independent publishers is they're just like, they're so aesthetically pretty.
They're
like,
just absolute collector's items.
Yeah, even if you don't knit them, just to look at them and have them for inspiration.
Knit one thing out of them.
Like, that's kind of fun. It's in the same colors we did the Odyssey shawl in. So that's a really nice one.
So the Amirisu is beautiful. And what is it? It's also providing...
Oh, Ritual Dyes has her little backpack.
Even, I know that Ritual Dyes has a new color at least released this coral, I think, or kind of a terracotta.
Really?
It's really nice.
Don't show me.
I won't show you.
And what I really find nice too is I find the advertisements are just as pretty. So it's crazy like that the ads can be just as pretty.
Was that night go back one more? No, it looked like Night Shoots.
That's another company. En tout cas. Oh, there's La Bien-Aimée with the Mondine. Now, the reason we said we weren't getting it is because we can't get it. It's not because we don't want it. Because it's exclusive to La Bien-Aimée. Because trust me, we would have it if we could get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So anyways, lots of beautiful patterns. Check them out on Ravelry.
This one, you guys, coming out May 31st.
And we have
Pom Quarterly. It's spectacular.
Not only that.
Page 11.
Stephanie
Earp. Our Stephanie Earp has a gorgeous pattern in this magazine.
This is what we were saying as reminiscent of the bee pattern.
The honeycomb.
The honeycomb. We're so proud of her.
So beautiful. It's called Sanctuary. You guys.
It's so pretty.
So beautiful. Beautiful pattern and beautifully photographed, and the model.
I want to make this shawl. I don't know. It's just really simple, but I just want to make that shawl. I just find it's really, it's really me.
Yeah. That is really pretty. Rookwood, it's called. So many. Oh, I like this one. It's just a tank, but then the two fronts are longer, and they just tie at the front there. So you know this sort of shorter top
that's kind
with
of
a
a thing
skirt.
now.
Yeah,
it's a thing now. I've noticed that in the fashion world.
Anyway, so many beautiful patterns coming out in these magazines.
There's also an article from Aruna.
Sorry, there's that pattern that you...
so pretty.
Aruna's in there as well?
Yeah, Aruna. There's a little buku. These girls are just so cool the way they're posing. It's like, that's the problem is you see these and they look so cool, but it's the person too. Yeah. This is New Bag on the Block. Yeah, so she does a little article about block printing. So Aruna is from Buku in Toronto.
Yes.
So that was
And she has her book is coming out this month.
Oh,
the
good.
punch needle.
And you know, it's funny, when I was flipping through the book, I didn't even know. I'm like, oh, that's got to be Boku. And then I looked and it said Boku.
Actually, she's coming to Montreal on June 9th.
Oh, you're taking
Emma
a workshop with Emma.
With her punch needle workshop. Exactly. And then Lina is also here, ready for ordering. It will not be available until, I believe,
the pom-pom, I think it's the end of May. We can release the pom-pom.
Okay.
Now, we know stores take pre-orders, but we're not that organized enough. So,
I'm just wanting to show Denise's pattern, you guys.
Oh, yeah, the Grace pattern.
Isn't it pretty?
You know what?
Congratulations, Denise.
It's very much like a retro vibe, eh? Like that shape.
Yes, just the whole shape.
It's I can even see that with like a nice skirt. It's so much fun. We're meeting so many people. We're like, oh, we're so proud of them. I wanted to mention something as I was going through the comments on our last podcast. Two people mentioned that we should stop cutting each other off.
Oh,
so I just want to apologize. Two people. I was like, oh my God. And it's taken 2.5 years for someone to notice. It's pretty damn good.
Well, maybe we're just started doing it now.
Maybe. So we just want to say we apologize. And then somebody said we talk too fast or we show things too fast. So we're trying our best. We are not professionals.
Exactly.
We will never be professionals.
We will always cut each other off.
We will always cut each other off. And if
we will try. We'll try. We're not even aware of it.
No, and then sometimes I'm like, oh shoot, I'm in the middle of cutting her off, but I'm talking, so I'm not going to stop myself. Yeah. And then if we say something, then we have more editing, which makes work for Melissa. So we are just who we are, and we try our best, and we're going to try to maybe speak slower, but I think if we speak faster, we won't talk as long. But we acknowledge your feedback.
We do, and we appreciate anything that's constructive and that we can do something about. But unfortunately, this is really hard. It's hard to be up here and to be aware of all the things that, you get up into your podcast and you're like, I can't say this and I can't say that and I got to not say
and my resting face has to look good. Why is she asking me that question that we didn't rehearse?
And we're thinking of so many things all the time.
And then, oh darn, we forgot that. So, we're like, because if we had to really think of being professional, we would never do it.
Because this is not a professional gig for us.
No, it's our sideline.
Exactly. Anyway, we get 99.9% of the feedback that we get is just so positive and so... And we're not... And even the people who give us constructive criticism, it's always given in the nicest possible way.
And it's all accepted, It's not just like... Sometimes I hear people say like, oh, just say nice things. No, I mean, there's ways... I always say there's ways to say things.
If it's constructive.
And we appreciate it, we hear it, but there are no guarantees.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's it.
That's a way of saying it, eh? Yeah. So thank you so much for sticking by our spring-summer overview, and we'll be back in a few weeks, I guess. Yeah. It's already, we'll do some more, one or maybe two before we go.
Yeah. What do we, May? One more.
One more before our summer break.
Yeah, Lisa and I are both going away for 4 weeks. So we will be going, you're going to Japan, as you said, and we are going to Rome and Germany. So we have time to do one more.
I think that's right.
And then we'll be
wrapping it up for a little bit.
And then we'll start again in July.
We don't want you knitters to get sick of us. We got to give a little break.
Exactly.
Okay. So, thanks so much for sticking by us and great chatting. And,
yes, and we will. In fact, we have to do one next time, Lisa. Sorry, we have to do one more because we have to have our 15,000 subscriber giveaway. So subscribe, and then we can get that sent out before we go on holiday.
Fantastic.
Right? Okay.
Good reminder. So take care. Have a great week, everybody. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.